Hey, good to see you. Thank you for coming to the kickoff of the things that we're doing at ADP for the spring semester. It's wonderful to see all of you. I don't get to be here as often as I want to be, but when I am, it's special, and I just sort of build up the love and the spirit, and it's a wonderful thing to see all of you again. It's wonderful to see Dean Macy and who's so incredibly supportive in so many ways of the work that's done with ADP, and of course all the work that's done at the college. But to see you at all of these events is wonderful, and we thank you. The chair of the Department of Communications, Law, and Political Science, Dr. Wendy Rohlater-Sook, is here. She does so much. I'm very grateful for the leadership that comes from them, the leadership I've experienced with Dr. Larry Gould, who's with us here as well, former provost and former chair of our department, and the people that I get to work with. Isaac, our student coordinator, Brittany, who really runs our creative work that we do, and my amazing co-director, Yen. So what I want to do is go ahead and get into what it is that we have to do today, because it's kind of a kickoff event, but it's a really special one. Yen will be making more clear to you the range of events that we're going to be doing, and not all of them will be listed or planned, but the ones that we know that are on the calendar at this point. In the back part of this event today, she's going to be telling everybody what it is that we've got coming up. But right now, I want to introduce you to a very special and valued member of the FHSU community who's here with us today. Dean Ginger Williams of the Library Services is going to walk through the opening up of a new era at Fort Hays State University. Those of us who have committed our lives to the gathering, the generation of, the dissemination of knowledge, libraries, particularly college libraries, are a sacred space for us, because they're not just a quiet place to study, they're not just a place where the books and the materials are. The university library embodies the values of everything that we do. And so we said farewell to Forsyth last year. We wiped away our tears about that. We watched the work happen, and now we have a new sacred space of knowledge, learning, and community, and all kinds of new opportunities and possibilities with that. So to let us know what it is that's happening in the opening of the new Tebo library, and to orient us to all the future purposes that it will have at Fort Hays State University, I'm very, very honored and pleased to introduce Dean Ginger Williams of the FHSU Library Services. Thank you.
Thank you for that very lovely introduction, and obviously it's heartwarming hearing you call the library a sacred space. We feel the same. For those of you who don't know me, not only do I get to be the Dean of Library Services, which is an immense honor, but I'm also a board member for Humanities Kansas, our state humanities council, and so I get to wear both hats today. I hardly ever get to speak to both at the same time, but you'll hear why I get to do that in a minute. Hopefully you'll also understand why, for the most part, I'm going to read you my prepared thoughts, because our lives are a little bit chaotic at the library still, and if I didn't write it down, I thought I might forget what I was going to say, so I'll stay on script, but I'm happy to have more conversation and answer questions too. So I'm pleased to share that our soft open was a success on January 20th. We've been overwhelmed with the community response in a variety of ways to our opening. We knew we would love the spaces in Tebo Library. We've been seeing them as they've been developing over the past year and a half. And it's truly incredible seeing the way that students especially have taken to the spaces. There are some days now where when we go around and count the number of students using spaces, there'll be more students just using the main floor at one given time. Then pre-renovation, we had on some of our slow days for the entire day. So even in an unfinished space, it's quite beautiful that has some finishing touches to come. They're coming in droves, and it really it was an emotional few days when we first welcomed them in. Jackson, you can attest to that, right?
Yes. Held back tears.
I wasn't able to hold mine back, and SGA had to sit through that. So sorry about that. It happens. That's what you get. As exciting as the soft open has been, we're still settling in. So this very minute, a crew is moving books onto our second floor. The main floor has books back in place, A through part of the J's, and then the rest will continue upstairs. We're still working hard to get technology set up throughout the building. You might see it, but it doesn't mean it's really usable yet. So we're still working on that. We're installing additional signage, mounting artwork, and there are a lot of things that we're still making progress on, figuring out our workflows, how things work. As an aside, Saturday when we had a snow day, I woke up in a panic because it's one thing to decide to be closed, but you have to communicate that to the automatic locks that open and close the building, and we've never had to do that before. So Saturday morning I woke up and was able to get that done ahead of them magically unlocking themselves, but that's just another wrinkle we're having to live with and start figuring out. So while all of that work is still ongoing, we're not quite ready to book additional events in our spaces. We design them to be booked and loved and used, and we're really, really looking forward to seeing them at capacity. But we're still working on configuring our our reservation system. We're still connecting the monitors and projectors and things like that, so it's still not quite ready. When we're set up again, we're very eager to welcome the American Democracy Project events in particular back to Tebo Library. I think they live into our mission. We have a revised mission for the library that is to encourage intellectual curiosity, foster scholarly exploration, and empower knowledge creation. And I think ADP's work connects with each of those points really well. So on to my Humanities Kansas hat. Last July, Humanities Kansas put out a call for host sites for a traveling exhibit celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. As a board member, I knew that call was going to come out. I knew that it was going to time well with our library being finished, and so I was really eager to participate and to try to bring that to our new space and to Hayes for folks in Hayes to get to celebrate. While I was working on the application, I reached out to Dean Macy, and I wanted to see if there was a possibility of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences collaborating with us in some way on celebrating the Declaration of Independence, of doing some kind of programming that would interact with the exhibit that we're putting on. He connected me with the Political Science Department, with American Democracy Project leaders, and I was very pleased with their eager and enthusiastic response to, yes, we want to collaborate here. Several ways we're going to engage students in this work. So I will let ADP speak to those different events, but it's going to be an exciting time. For the exhibit itself, it was created by the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History, and Tebo Library is one of 46 libraries, museums, and other cultural institutions who will host the exhibit in Kansas throughout this entire year. It's already up some places, and it's rotating to others over the next 12 months. The exhibit uses primary sources to illustrate how Americans and people across the world have been inspired by the Declaration in their pursuit of equality and self-determination. The Kansas Declaration 1776 traveling exhibition includes a section called Kansas 1776, which looks at what was happening on the land that would become the state of Kansas 250 years ago. Also, an aside, happy Kansas Day. Fort Hays has partnered with Hays Public Library to purchase an additional copy of the exhibit just for the Hays region. It will start in Nicodemus, go to the Hays Public Library, and end up here in Tebo Library, and it'll go up mid-September and be up through the duration of the fall semester. So we're looking forward to working with ADP and the College of Arts, Humanities, Social Sciences on many ways we can celebrate the Declaration of Independence, which is more important now than ever. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We have questions about the library and all the things that are your hopes for it.
Ginger,
Yes.
will the cafe extend their hours? I was in the library, it was about 3:30 and the cafe was already closed. I wondered if that was a workforce issue?
By and large, I think it is, because it's run by the Union Catering Company, and the hours right now, it's called Roar and Pour, and it is open, this is my commercial, it is open from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, and they're trying to feel out what the demand is and make sure that their staffing matches, because we don't want them to operate at a loss if they're having staff wait around. So I would encourage you to try the coffee in the morning. It's different than the Starbucks offerings because they are sourcing their beans from a roaster in Kansas City. They're freshly roasted. They brew 1 cup at a time, so it is something different. They're used to me by now getting my biggest size coffee they'll serve me. But I think if there's enough demand, they would probably react to that. They have paninis for lunch, by the way. They have breakfast sandwiches. And they tried to make sure it was different offerings than they have here in the Union.
People can bring in food from Starbucks.
Yeah. And you can bring food anywhere in the library except for special collections or the computer lab. Yeah.
I know you mentioned they're going to put up the Wizard of Oz stuff. When do you have any dates or anything on that will go up?
I don't yet. That's Mary and I could answer that question together. The donor for those is still working on an appraisal and actually executing that gift, making sure that it's valued and documented for their purposes. But they're very excited to see it in the space. Since you were there last week, the signage is up in the reading room now, so it says Larry Lynn Fenwick Reading Room on the wall. There's a lovely sign for WR and Yvonne Robbins Forum, which is the main event space on the main floor that's akin to the South Study area that was wildly popular previously. This is actually a lovely space to have events. Any other? Yeah.
You mentioned special collections, just for those of us who aren't so thoroughly familiar with what you have there. What are some of the highlights you'd say of the special collections you have to people like that?
Oh gosh, this is not my strength. So if Brian were here, I would have him rattle it off for you. But we do have some Plains history, obviously local history, images from the Dust Bowl. We have Germanic Bibles and other things related to Volga German ancestry. We have history from the Walker Air Force Base that was located nearby previously, especially if we have a full run of their newspapers that we're the only ones that have that. It's fully digitized as well.
Do you have documents related to the fort?
We have university history. I don't know that we have much related to the fort itself.
And how about, you mentioned Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, anything like that, or other notable authors?
We'll have a lot of Baum works once this gift is executed, yeah.
Thank you.
Cheryl, did you have a question?
I was just going to say, I remember, like, when I was a grad student here, where some of you were born, and like looking at grammar books from the 1700s, for example. Fascinating.
They had some of those, actually, the readers that Mark Twain satirized so well, that were over in the little schoolhouse area, at least for a while.
We have some of that.
Yes, yeah.
And Sternberg.
What's new?
I think this is something I said I was going to read from my script and then I didn't. One thing that's new is instead of 4 study rooms for groups and 4 for individuals, we're up to 15 group study rooms and 10 individual study rooms. That was based on student demand and request. I think we have approximately 1 million more linear feet of whiteboard in the library. Most of the study rooms are built out of whiteboards essentially, so you can write all the way around you while you're studying. The natural light is obviously new. We're not dealing with these windows anymore. You can't get your hands around them. They're so large. It's the first time we've had a reading room because previously the special collections and archives were in 4 different locations throughout the building and they were not appropriately climate controlled. And they were not appropriately secured because patrons would be studying right next to the actual shelves instead of in a controlled reading room environment. That's new. The Roar and Fur Cafe we haven't had before. Institute for New Media Studies is a new partner that's on the lower level as well. And I would say it's the first time that we see people walk in and have delight hit their face. It's new that admissions wants to feature us on the tour instead of walking in and saying, and this is the library. But I mentioned it was emotional watching reactions. That's not just for students, but for faculty and staff who were in the library before. They walk in and they're a little bit disoriented, and they get to just about our main welcome desk and they freeze and just look around with their mouth open. So if you haven't had that pleasure yet, come experience it and give me a call first so I can come watch you, watch you do it. Yeah.
What do you hope that this will become and how it will be used?
My first hope is already realized that students would love it as much as we hoped they would, because we need students to have their home away from home that they can actually get work done and focus in and study in, and it's clear they love it as much as we wanted them to, maybe more. And I hope that it's, I mentioned our revised mission, and it has to do with curiosity, exploration, creating knowledge. So we're hoping it's a vibrant, thrumming intellectual hub for campus where the spaces are constantly booked, and people are meeting there who work in different parts of the university, who study in different departments, that are coming together to do interdisciplinary things and just have intellectually curious discussions.
I think all of us need to also keep putting out the message and reminding community members. It's also a library for community members.
Yep.
There are still community members in Hayes that say, oh, can we go? It's a library, it's public, yes. And we want more of that synergy between our community and our campus.
Yep.
And just grab a cup of coffee, take your buddy and go have a conversation in the Tebo library.
I know in the past the American Democracy Project in the library used to partner for the Benjamin Franklin papers, but that was kind of discontinued to the state of the papers. Is there any plans to bring those back for the 250th?
That specifically, I'm not sure. We would welcome that type of collaboration for sure.
Can you tell us what went into the planning? Like, how long ago did this start, and what were the things that you did to maximize and make sure that this moment was going to be, this new opportunity was going to be everything it could be?
Gosh, planning started long before I was even aware of Fort Hayes, to be quite honest. I think for decades it had been kind of a hope that it would happen. At least 10 years ago, some of the librarians would start traveling to other libraries to look at good exemplars of what we might hope to transform our space into. And I started here February of 2022, and my start date wasn't negotiable because there were already plans to work with a consultant on program planning for the library, which is allocating the right amount of space for the different functions that you have throughout the building. And we had a large committee from all across campus, including students, to work on what are the things campus needs from us. We started doing listening sessions and surveys and got a lot of student input in the spring of 2022, and then it took about a year selecting and working with an architect through some iterations. It's pretty interesting looking back on some of the other options we had for what do you think about this before we revised and got to our current plan, which I'm glad we got where we did. But yeah, it was an iterative process for a while to work out the kinks and settle on our current design, and then we had to bid and select the construction company, and as you might recall, that came in over, the bids came in slightly over budget, which I think was reasonable given the scope of work that we had, and so we had to determine, well, what do we do? We had about a $3 million gap in where our budget was and what we needed to do. We realized we're not going to cut out $3 million worth of stuff from the plan and have it be worth doing. Because all the things that people love about it, and that when you walk in that make your mouth hang open, that's what would have gone if we would have just renovated it on a budget. And so, very appreciative that the foundation committed then to making sure they would find a way to close that gap for us. And so they have been very aggressive and very successful with fundraising. So we were able to raise enough to do the renovation, and it was supposed to be a phased renovation where we got to stay in the library and just move from one side to the other. That's not what the building wanted us to do. We had to move all the way out because the central north to south core is where a lot of the HVAC is, and so we couldn't work around it and stay in the building. So we got kicked out to Custer Hall, which was okay. And we're very glad to not be in Custer Hall anymore and to be in our spaces. But yeah, it's arduous and stressful and delightful all at the same time. So it's been a very long and involved process, and I'm glad we're getting towards the end of it.
I'll just add big kudos to our current dean, Ginger Williams. Fort Hays State has been blessed with amazing library deans in our past. But to this point, we have an amazing dean who is perfect for us to renovate this library, gut it, renovate it, and all of your work, not only on the Kansas Humanities Board, your work with the architects, your work with other organizations that do library fundraising. Ginger's involved with all of it. We are so blessed to have your leadership there, and I know you're not going to leave until you're 85, so we are set well in the future.
Yep, that's the contract I have.
Yeah, right.
The only 85-year contract on campus. It's yours. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you.
One thing I like is you have the two entrances from
I love
both
that
sides.
too.
Yeah.
And they're both accessible as well.
Yeah.
So should a day come when, I fortunate not to have it right now, but I was in a walking boot for 3 weeks, and stairs were not a great option for me during the month of November, so I could walk right in north and south now. That was important. We also, you may not know, we put in a door on the west side facing Malloy,
Yeah.
welcoming future partnership there, or in that shared space between the buildings. So if you want to get coffee in York and Malloy or Hammond, you have an easy way to pop in,
Yeah.
or use the spaces otherwise. Yeah.
Speaking of that space, are there plans to do more outside or
For
in terms of
right
planting?
now, there's
benches?
more work going in on the landscaping and like fixing that sidewalk south of it. I think there are aspirations for the space between the buildings, but no actual plans. Yeah.
I just want to say, the library is incredible. The only part that scares me is that stairs. I'm always current, I'm going to trip and fall.
Well, we did. I hear you, and understand. So that's the only reason this bench exists, is when the architects wanted to put that big staircase in, which we love and is beautiful. I said, gosh, I hope someone doesn't just walk right into it. So I don't know that anyone's going to sit on that bench, but it was supposed to at least be a barrier to
Oh, I got a picture of Mary sitting on it.
remind you.
Yeah, I sat on it and
it's a good photo op.
ate my cafe food.
Yeah.
Cheryl took a picture.
Come take your group pictures on that staircase.
I almost tripped over the bench, actually.
That might be a you problem.
Share your problem. What are some potential areas for collaboration between Hays Public Library and the Tebo Library moving forward?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, they are a partner financially on this exhibit that we're bringing here. Believe it or not, we as Humanities Kansas only expected about 10 to 20 applications, and we got over 50 applications for Kansas institutions wanting to celebrate the Declaration of Independence in their communities, which was overwhelming and a very positive thing, because like I said, we thought it's a timely exhibit that we wanted Kansans to appreciate and engage with. So they partnered with us to purchase this Western Kansas copy. Anna's behind the camera, but I would let her, she's more closely engaged in collaborating with Hays Public, so I would let you speak to that.
I would love to do a shameless plug for another event that we have tonight. We've been partnering with them for a how-to series. So for instance, tonight we have how to foster healthy relationships, and that's at 6 p.m. at the Hays Public Library. with Jana's campaign and options and FHSU Health and Wellness. We continue to have the bookmobile here every other Wednesday, so they were here yesterday. They'll be back in 2 weeks. You can order books through them to be delivered to Tebo Library for you to pick up, or you can return your Hayes Public Library items there, so you don't have to go off campus for that, or to be delivered on the bookmobile if you're going to check that out. And we've got a Lunch and Learn series that's starting next week. It is next week for Black History Month. So we're still planning to do a lot of collaboration with them in their space, in our space, and all around town. So we're happy to continue those partnerships.
That's a very positive and functional relationship, collaboration-wise. We love them, they love us. There's no competition, so we're happy to keep engaging in all those excellent things Anna just mentioned.
There was a lot of collaboration while our physical space was not available.
Yeah.
And that
We don't need to cut it off, though.
Right.
It's great.
started something beautiful.
Yeah, they're great. Any other thoughts or questions?
If you have any other questions, feel free to, interrupt and redirect when we get to another part of what we're going to be talking about here today. ADP, the American Democracy Project at Fort Hays, is housed in the Department of Communication, Law, and Political Science, which is part of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. But I would be remiss if I didn't recognize someone whose efforts at civic work and civic engagement issues is campus-wide for all of the projects and programs that are here. So Dr. Lauren Niffen is here. If you don't know her yet, I highly encourage you get to know her, and I highly encourage, whether you faculty, students, student organizations, that if you have an idea for something or if something really matters to you, approach her, because she will be a fantastic partner, and so many of the resources of the university that relate to this work, she is going to be right in the middle of and helping people achieve, like ADP tries to do, not just sort of put on events or bring speakers, but really to operate in a supportive role of the variety of things that organizations and faculty and departments and programs want to be doing themselves. We're always happy to help you think about and be supportive of the things that you're trying to achieve. It's a wonderful segue from thinking about the Declaration of Independence to the celebration for next year, to start thinking about this as an opportunity, not just to simply walk in and see a wonderful exhibit that's going to be important, but it's a moment, I think, for all of us at Fort Hays to make ourselves aware of and be mindful of and reflect on and re-energize the spirit of the Declaration of Independence. It's represented so much in so many ways that's been positive. It's been called the Big Bang of modern democracy. But I think there's a lot of perspectives out there that also think about the Declaration of Independence as also an opportunity to reflect on the ways we might be disappointed in how far we haven't come, or the problems that we face when we're trying to be at our best. I think the Declaration speaks to that the best, but I think it's also coming to this campus. This exhibition is an opportunity for all of us to think about the variety of ways that it can be very meaningful to us. And on that note, we want to let you know that ADP, because the exhibit is going to be here from early September through December 31st, and I think we're the last one that has it, ADP is committing the entire fall semester of 2026 to working with, amplifying, elevating these questions, and working with the campus to make sure that there are a variety of ways that you can feel supported in saying what you need to say. And that goes for individuals, but it also can go for programs, departments, student organizations, that's why ADP is sort of announcing that in the fall, we want this exhibition, and I think we've got a flyer here that has this kind of information as well. We hope you'll take that with you. But what ADP wants to do is be part of helping all of us express the variety of different ways that the Declaration of Independence is significant and meaningful and has an incredibly relevant future for us in this society. So what we are hoping to do is to support and help people put on the events that they want to put on or produce the kinds of things that they want to produce. So what I would say is think about what our colleagues in art and visual design do every year in the fall with the poster. I mean, they just unleash a kind of genius from their students, and we all get to walk down the hallway and see that. Think of that, but campus-wide, with all the different ways that people can be creative and expressive. I've talked to Dean Williams about this. She's let us know that while the exhibit is there, for example, there will be new, beautiful spaces where the things that people create and want to express can be exhibited, where programs can happen, where all kinds of things that can happen in partnership between ADP and Tebo, the library services, but also all of you. So that's what we're inviting you to start thinking about now, because ADP this semester wants to help you start thinking about and planning for what it is that you might want to do as an individual, as part of your department, your program, part of the college. There's just a wide range of ways that people can acknowledge and express what the Declaration of Independence means, what that moment means, and what this moment means. And it can mean so many different things for different people. Our theme this year at ADP is the creative citizen, because now more than ever it is obvious that citizenship, I mean, it's not a spectator sport. It is a creative endeavor. Democracy, by its nature, is a creative endeavor. We work together, we try to identify the problems that we have in common, we work together to try to address those, and then we move forward. It doesn't stop. We have to keep inventing and reinventing who we are for the world that we live in. That's what we want to be supportive of. And that's why we're announcing it right now in January, because when the exhibit comes here, that's going to be early September. We want all of you and all of your departments and programs to be able to start thinking about this and planning what you want to do so that you can do that work, begin to work on it, do the work over the summer, and be ready to go with what you want to do. ADP wants you to know that we are available to come to your department, to your student organizations, and to just help you bring to life whatever it is that you're thinking about doing. We know that, for example, we have a variety of expertise from our historians, from different people in different fields. They can bring so much. I mean, I would love to see some version of an old-fashioned teach-in that's done around these kinds of issues. But we also want to see artistic, creative type things. We want to figure out what kinds of speakers we can bring, what kinds of things that we can do in these new spaces. And we want to absolutely think about the new ways that faculty and students can work together to express the things that you're learning, but to re-energize and repurpose everything that the Declaration stands for all of us. So that's what it is that we're committing ourselves to do this semester, to operating and support, but we also want to be supportive next semester as you try to put whatever events and things that you want to do, because we want this campus during the fall semester, while that exhibition is here, to just be covered and with an energy and with a purpose and all kinds of events and things that people want to do related to this. We think it's just a wonderful way of thinking about this, and we just couldn't think of a better time in our own moment of history to be able to start thinking about what it means to be a citizen, what our purposes are, why we're here, and what the future can look like if we all start being creative in what it is that we can do together. Right now, I want to turn this over to my co-director, Yen, who's going to talk about events that we're having coming up this semester, and we're also going to be available and answer some questions about the ADP projects that we have coming up, including the work around the declaration. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you all for coming. And before Jay leaves, I want to give them a special shout out. So Jay has been a wonderful speaker and supporter of the ADP. And Chris, thank you for being here. And also our wonderful student coordinator, former student coordinator, Madison Albers. And our wonderful, wonderful Jackson. Thank you for supporting us behind and in front of the scenes. So we recognize your effort. Thank you. And so, like Darrell said, that civic engagement nowadays is really a creative endeavor, and I agree. If you look at our department, it's a combination of communication studies that Brittany and I belong to, but also law and political science. In the past few years, I think it's very evident how well we work together. So last year we decided that our annual theme was civic listening. And we spent a whole year to promote the theme. And this year is creative citizen. And from all the people, I think, and I cannot, it will take me maybe half an hour to thank all of you. But really, it's a creative endeavor. For example, you can see all the cute buttons that you saw. And you see the beautiful designs and the PowerPoint. If you rely on me, you will see just black and white. But we have a wonderful, wonderful creative advisor, Whitney Reed. Please stand up and wave. Thank you for all your wonderful work. So this took her a lot of time, and she created dozens of samples for us to choose from. We had discussions multiple times. And so the visual design is not just appealing, they are conveying some kind of message and inspiration. Okay, so we treat all our designs as part of our visual rhetoric. So in all our future publications, you will see a brand identity and a consistent message we are sending. And we are very careful about bringing people together. So even though ADP is housed in the Department of Communication Studies, Law, and Political Science, we are also a campus-wide initiative supported by the president, our provost, and our wonderful dean, and all the departments. So thank you so much for your support. So upcoming events. Before you leave, please make sure you have this handout. Okay, so these are the scheduled events. So most of them are Times Talk. Again, that's a collaboration partnership with the New York Times. So all these talks will take about 40 to 45 minutes, and we will leave about 15 minutes for Q&A. And the speakers, they will provide a reference article to their talk. Okay, so the students and the faculty members, participants are encouraged to read the article before they come, so we can have a discussion. So on this handout, you will see that, I should take this. So please mark your calendar, February 12th. Okay, from 11 to 12, Dr. Peter Trammell from the philosophy program will present his Times talk on ending the war in Ukraine. Okay. And on Wednesday, February 25th, Dr. Hsin-Yen and Steele from Criminal Justice, they will talk about the importance of the escalation training for law enforcement. How relevant, how important. On March 12th, Dr. Moy will present her Times talk on AI in the classroom, navigating student and faculty perspectives on academic integrity and innovation. Again, another excellent, important, and timely topic. On March 26th, we will invite Drs. Kurt and Christine Baumgart back on campus. If you are here long enough, like I did, like I have, you will know that they used to oversee all the civic engagement endeavors and supported by Dr. Larry Gould. So they will come back and talk about not just the past, but also the future, okay, to encourage our young minds to talk about legacy and leadership, inspiring civic action for the future. And on April 14th, Dr. Amber Nicole, and she's right here, and also Holly. And yeah, I might invite you up here to maybe briefly talk about your event. Okay, so they are going to present with their students defying dictators. What World War II resistance can teach us about defending democracy. So prior to that, they will take the student to Europe, and they will come back with their newly gained knowledge and share that with the entire campus. Okay. So is there anything you would like to share?
I think you covered it. So we're gonna, it won't be everyone who's gone on the trip. The 3 or 4 students who've gone on the trip will share about their experience, but also the material that we're learning about and applications to the current.
Is there anything you want to announce and encourage people here to participate?
I mean, I think it's always great when we show support to our students. It's lovely when we support our colleagues as well, but showing support to students who are maybe less practiced at speaking publicly, I think is super important.
Yes.
And it's also part of the Holocaust Remembrance events, which are all April long. So come check out that stuff. We have Dr. Chad Gibbs. He's the Director of Genocide Studies at the College of Charleston. Will be coming to talk about Holocaust resistance at Treblinka.
Okay. And we'll be happy to help promote the events. Let's talk. We're on the same floor. So the floor in very tall. Okay. So these are the scheduled events, but we'll have more events we are planning. For example, for March, we are planning a women's leadership panel. Last year we have a similar panel, and we were so fortunate to have over 120 people attended. So this year we want to create another meaningful and informative and hopefully engaging panel. And currently we are contacting the speakers, and we will keep you posted. Okay. Any questions or comments? Yes, please.
Let me commend you for your planning. You're really moving down the road pretty good. But let me ask you, have you contacted the ASCU people in Washington in terms of your planning and the kinds of things that they may be able to provide in terms of resources?
Yes,
the national ADP people.
Yes, and we are actually attending the ADP conference. And we had some emails communicating with one of the officers in Washington, D.C.
That's one of the things we're hoping to learn, because we're taking our student coordinator to Chicago for this in March, and we want to make sure that we're all more familiar with the things that ASCU is doing now at the national level.
Yeah, because they like to help out, for one, but even more importantly, get a lot of publicity for Fort Hays, because we're usually ahead of the rest of the nation in terms of these kinds of things that ADP plans. So I'd really encourage you to get to know them, and hopefully they'll really help you out in some way.
Well, we'll probably write up something and print it out and take it to get distributed in March at the national conference.
Sure.
And we also have some project in progress, and hopefully next year we'll be presenting. We'll take our students and present their research. And
it's an excellent forum.
Thank you. And this year will be our first time attending the ADP conference, but I have been attending ASCU webinars and meetings. And that's a very good advice. We will connect with some.
Are you
Any
still looking for a
questions?
student coordinator?
Oh, we are still hiring, okay? Because we were very fortunate to have one excellent student coordinator last year. But one of them, we are very proud of him, he got a job offer. So he may be leaving in the middle of the semester. So we have to hire a second person. So we are still in the process of looking. So if you know anyone who is interested in our work, and maybe that, even if the student has some questions, please send them our way. And I'm on campus, so I'm just an email away. Okay, I will meet you on campus. And Darrell is very accessible. We work together very well, all of us. Then we really like each other. I think we have very good culture, organizational culture. We are very supportive. So we are really nice. Please tell your students. Please tell your students to come see us. Okay, it's a very good working environment. And also, Isaac told me, so if you see that I was on my phone because we were communicating with each other, so we have a lot of food in the prairie room next door. So that way we can set up, we put the food next door so we can have more seating in this room. So I really like that thinking. But we have a lot of food left. And I brought the gallon bags if you want to take it home. We plan ahead. So please take some food home. And if you have any ideas about civic engagement, you want to participate or you want to create something, even if it's like a half-baked, we are here to talk to you. And we come from different backgrounds, and you might be surprised that what kind of idea we might come up with, and we'll get it done, bring them to life. All right.
Thank you.